Hello and welcome to a video going over HIPAA catalogs. This is going to be a really interesting topic for folks who have a HIPAA site, in particular HIPAA e-commerce or another form of portal system where folks can search, filter, ideally go through a category or catalog type of a schema and architecture and get to a particular item or items, see a preview, and then go to the details. Now, for HIPAA, there are a lot of very specific characteristics that might apply and customizations that we think you'll find helpful in this video. Let's get into it. Okay, so starting right out with the catalog itself, one of the things that's really interesting for HIPAA is we can offer a complete catalog. And this can include some of the kind of standard things you would expect in a typical e-commerce site, but we can have characteristics of HIPAA included. So here you can see we just have kind of a standard set of filters, search terms, categories, price ranges, attributes that we can expand and collapse, compare, the ability to show a rollover set of actions that can dynamically change based on the product, a grid table list view, number of items you can show or hide, sorting, the stock count, the for sale price, possibly a discount or a quantity break, etc. So a lot of the standard things that you would expect in a catalog system. Now, what's really cool though about this is we can then take these capabilities, and usually what we want to do is kind of remove anything that's going to get in the way of the user going through their experience. So we're probably going to want to kind of just simplify the presentation. So I'm going to show a few examples of that next. Now, this particular scenario, you can see we are on a subcategory view, and it literally just has the categories and search, and then we can go in and essentially have a slider that's calling out some of the key offerings within this subcategory. And then we also have the strength, or effectively the quantity, the dosage, and then the price. And then we can drill in to see more detail on the product detail page. So we can go in, look at a product detail, get information about that particular product, and then just kind of take advantage of this catalog system to be able to do that. Here in another scenario, we're going through a more robust kind of category type of navigation. So this particular offering has a really robust set of categories, subcategories, and then you can see it kind of drills down in with different views that we can show, different styles of presenting this data. And so you can kind of see an example of that here. And I'm just kind of quickly going through some of these different screens. And so again, the idea is that we want to take this bigger view and then simplify it down. So for this particular client, what we ended up doing is basically coming in and just going with a very simple presentation style, and then basically a very simple catalog system. And the simplification made it a lot easier for the end users to get where they needed to go. But we also had a step where we were verifying whether or not the state that they were in had the particular items that they were looking for. If not, we would show them a simple message and allow them to get in touch and even become notified whenever the prescription item or regulated item was available in the jurisdiction, the state or the county, etc., that they were looking for that in. So this is kind of a nice way to present things as well. Now, this is a really major simplification of the presentation. So here you can see we're presenting everything with just a couple of products that we're going to show to the user. And this is a really nice presentation model as well. And then you can see whenever you select something, it goes right into the process of ordering the item. So this is a really cool way to present everything. Just keep it really simple. Obviously, this would be for a scenario where you just have a few items. And this is just a great way to present HIPAA information. And again, this kind of goes into detail now about making sure they're qualified, kind of getting into the actual HIPAA data acquisition here, or ePHI information, etc. This is another example where this particular client has a portal system, and each of the portals has a kind of catered brand that it is serving. And so they're selling, in this case, uniforms within different hospital groups. And so that particular hospital group is using our HIPAA e-commerce platform, and it's essentially pulling from a centralized database for this uniform company. So you can essentially think of this like a buying group. or essentially just a kind of distribution site where these large hospital groups can take advantage of this bulk purchasing. Anyway, they have very standard kind of scrubs and uniforms that folks may want to purchase and drill into. And so they can do that from this page and then go into the particular items that are available at that hospital. So that's a really nice way to do it as well. Here you can see we're also showing quick little menu items for them to be able to navigate and essentially cater the HIPAA catalog to the particular brands and even have some specific branding, as you can see here as well. Okay, so another solution would be to, again, like we were showing earlier, take a very kind of specific view of the item, or maybe a few items, and really highlight it visually. So here you can see we're kind of going into a lot of detail about this particular item, and we're just kind of providing them a lot of detail. And then we're giving them the ability to see testimonials and then go into a questionnaire to see if they're a good fit for that item. So this type of catalog is really concise. It's very focused on a particular set of criteria. And then it's going to essentially allow this user to do a search for a surgeon based on a location lookup. So this is really specific, but depending on the type of HIPAA scenario you're offering, this proximity-based search may be a key part of your catalog offering. So we really want to highlight, whenever you're looking for a HIPAA e-commerce system and you're looking for a catalog model, you need to be able to marry these ideas and make them essentially part of your workflows for the users. And really what we want to deliver whenever we're working on a HIPAA project is self-service for the end user. We want to automate as much as possible. So here you can see the user's able to kind of go through this process of finding a surgeon, in this case, for this particular product. Okay, and then we're just going to cover another similar example. So here you can see this particular homepage is really focusing on a kind of a subset of the products that they're offering. And here we're looking at the MOBA-C cervical disc. And so this is essentially a kind of landing page for this product. And then we can drill in and get a lot of detail, including the surgeon finder and seeing if somebody is a candidate or not. So here you can see the menu. You can see some of the different presentation. This is a pretty interesting presentation. You could kind of think of this as like a just kind of a trial results, but here we're kind of allowing the user to navigate through some really immersive content that's going to help them to be comfortable with moving ahead with this particular item. We're also going to be kind of giving them some experiences from both patients and surgeons. And then we're going to go through a questionnaire that they can complete that's really simple and clean, and allows them to determine if they're a good fit. So this is kind of where HIPAA can break away from a standard catalog system, and you can essentially go into a lot more detail and take a very specific workflow. And so now here we are, and this person may be a candidate for MOBA-C, and they can direct email to their doctor. They can download the information, or they can find a surgeon. And so if they're not a candidate, here's kind of more information about why. And then ultimately, if they do determine they want to look for a surgeon, again, we can do this proximity-based search and show results. Pretty simple model for them to be able to get the information they need. So there really is a spectrum of presentation style for HIPAA, and we want to be able to customize the experience that the user is going through so that if they don't have access because of a jurisdiction or regulation type of issue, maybe for questions that they answered, they're not able to kind of qualify based on some of the questions that they answered. Maybe their location, they're not able to qualify based on being in a certain area. We need to be able to present that to the user and make it a self-service type of process. So there is a lot more that we can share with the catalog system. The bottom line is that whenever a user is interacting with the site and we're dealing with HIPAA, we can inform the catalog system based on what the user's inputting, including PHI information that they might provide. We can dynamically change what they're presented with. They may have a prescription and we want to show different things in the catalog based on that prescription that they have, or multiple prescriptions. They may have a certain set of criteria that they've filled in, and we want to dynamically present information in the catalog. Or it may just simply be that they have to select a location, and then we're going to only show them items in the catalog that are available in that region. And these are all options, and the bottom line is, for a HIPAA catalog system, we encourage you to work with an expert who specializes in HIPAA to deliver a catered catalog solution that will work for you in the long term. With that in mind, we're going to talk next briefly about options that you can explore to kind of get into the weeds about your upcoming HIPAA catalog project and your overall HIPAA project in general. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. If you would, we encourage you to consider the opportunity to take advantage of our complimentary discovery process. If you're really interested in getting more information about this particular topic, that is a great way to, in a no hassle, kind of low key way, get to interact with experts within this field. And our commitment to you, if you decide to engage our team for a complimentary discovery or just a complimentary strategy and discussion, is that we will absolutely point you in a positive direction, help you kind of accelerate on your path, even if there's not a good fit for us to directly work together. We have a lot of resources and a lot of experience in this area of focus, and we just encourage you to take advantage of that if you're seriously looking in this space. If there is a good fit, of course, we'll also present you with great options that you can consider for how we might work together. And either way, we certainly appreciate you taking a look at this video. We encourage you, if you think this was valuable, to hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. And we will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.